Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Banter in the Box, the penultimate episode. It's your game week 33 review. Yep, it's the penultimate Banter in the Box of the season in a week where no less than 6 managers went into the transfer market. One of those managers spending £22 million on tactical gambits, spent £5 million on his one permitted wild card tactical gambit, which allowed him to make multiple transfers in a single week, spent another £15 million on his 3 permitted Oiti's Mine tactical gambits, which allowed him to bring in a player even though that player belonged to another Premier League side, and he spent £2 million on a rarely used Tommy Turncoat tactical gambit, which allowed him to change his nominated club. And that manager was none other than top of the table, the Creed Bratton Society manager, the Mad Hatter. The wild card allowed him to make multiple transfers in a single week, and he made 7 changes to a side that's top of the league. Is that a case of getting the title jitters? Methinks so. Of the other 5 managers that made transfers this week, 4 of them used £5 million to buy an Oiti's Mine tactical gambit as well. So even at this late stage in the season, lots of managers battling for the prize money on offer. And I've given up on Chairman's Chats. Sorry, Mark. I've been asking for questions for weeks and I just haven't had enough. 4 questions. Is just not enough to warrant the Chairman's Chats. So I've abandoned any thoughts of doing another Chairman's Chats this season. In this edition of Banter in the Box, we have your Game Week 33 winners and losers. 5 winners, all picking up a Manager of the Season point. 4 losers, all losing a Manager of the Season point. A Manager of the Season update. Did anyone get the who the fuck is that? It was worth 12 Manager of the Season points. All will be revealed. And a quick update on the Family Fantasy Football League Presentation Awards. So without further ado, your Game Week 33 winners. Take a bow. Average Joe's manager, Joe Hoxby, climbed 1 place up to 21st in the table. The highest she's been since Game Week 26. Take a bow also. I've got a life manager, Mops Hoxby. She climbed a place up to 4th. The highest that she's been since Game Week 26, as Mops hasn't given up on a title challenge, though she'll be hoping she doesn't finish in the dreaded 4th spot, the highest league position you can finish in and not get any prize money. Take a bow. Great Uncle George Moody. He climbed 1 place to 16th, the highest he's been since Game Week 19. Take a bow also, the Family Fantasy Football League Cup finalist, 11 Cox manager, Simon Hoxby. His form has been good recently and it continues as we head into the Family Fantasy Cup final, not this weekend, but next weekend. Simon was the biggest climber in Game Week 33, up 3 places to 12th, and he hasn't been as high as 12th since way back on Game Week 11. But for the 2nd week running, take a bow, Legends 23 manager Keith Simons. Keith climbed a place up to 6th, the highest he's been since Game Week 28, with a 4th weekly win of the season, a massive 59 points. And he's only 3 weekly wins behind the leader in the weekly win table, Sashamas FC's Wayne Robinson. Just enough time for Keith to pip Wayne to the prize for the most weekly wins in the season, although probably will have to get every single weekly win between now and the rest of the season. And if you do that, Keith, you might end up winning it. Certainly still in with a shout in the 6th spot. Definitely in with a shout of prize money. So 1 Manager of the Season point to those weekly winners. Your Game Week 33 losers, hide your head in shame. Arden Diamonds manager Steve Holmes dropped 1 place to 5th. The lowest he's been since Game Week 26. Hide your head in shame. Green Top Milk James Bloomfield for the 2nd week running dropped a place to 17th. He hasn't been as low as 17th since way back in game week 5. And just what I was saying about Simon running into top form just ahead of the cup final. Well, Simon is playing Green Top Milk's James Bloomfield in that final, and James is hitting a terrible patch of form going in to that cup final. Hide your head in shame. Also, no cock for me. Manager Sarah Goodwin dropped a place down to 14th. Sarah hasn't been as low as 14th since way back in game week 2. But the biggest game week 33 loser, hide your head in shame, Foxborough Foxes manager Charlotte Williams dropped one place down to 22nd, the lowest scorers in game week 33 with just 1 point. 1 manager of the season point lost for those 4. Who the fuck is that? It was a picture of 6 current Family Fantasy Football League managers. No one got it last week, so we rolled it over. 4 managers had a go. Legends 23 manager Keith Simons thought that was a picture of I've Got a Life manager Mops Hoxby, Gobi Desert Canoe Club manager Pops Hoxby, 11 Cox manager Simon Hoxby, Megan Hoxlade Chamberlain manager Megan Hoxby, Grease Lightning manager Alexi Lagos, and Masters of None manager Jack Hoxby. I can tell you, Keith, 5 of those managers are correct, but you don't get any points for getting 5. You had to get all 6 correct to get the 12 points. 5 of those managers were correct, Keith, but you got 1 wrong. And then 3 managers all submitted the same guess. Arden Diamonds manager Steve Holmes, I've Got a Life manager Mops Hoxby, and Ontario Grizzlies manager Neil Hatch. They all thought that it was a picture of I've Got a Life manager Mops Hoxby, Gobi Desert Canoe Club manager Pops Hoxby, 11 Cox manager Simon Hoxby, Megan Hoxlade Chamberlain manager Megan Hoxby, Greased Lightning manager Alexi Lagos, and Average Joe's manager Joe Hoxby. And I can reveal that of those 6 managers guessed by those 3, all of them were correct. It was indeed Joe, Alexi, Pops, Mops, Megan, and Simon Hoxby just hiding in the background there. So 12 manager of the season points goes to Mops, Steve Holmes, and Ontario Grizzlies manager Neil Hatch. And all of that means the manager of the season table looks like this, top half anyway. Keith Simons climbs to joint 13th for being a game week 33 winner. George Moody climbs to joint 9th for being a game week 33 winner. Sarah Goodwin drops down to 6th for being a game week 33 loser. Steve Holmes leaps up to 5th. He was a game week 33 loser, but he was net 11 points positive for getting the Who the Fuck Is That. Joe Hoxby is actually drops to 3rd despite being a game week 33 winner, and that's because Mops Hoxby overtook her into 2nd place for getting the Who the Fuck Is That. But Hatch United stays top and actually extends his lead by 1 point for getting the Who the Fuck Is That. The manager who has won the league more than any other manager is 9 points clear in the race to be manager of the season, which will mean he will get the £15 million in free tactical gambits. And if that happens, won't that make next season even more difficult for everybody? So let's try and stop it from happening. I can't. I'm obviously not allowed to have a go at the Who the Fuck Is That. But let's try and stop Neil from winning the league. Or sorry, from winning the manager of the season and getting those £15 million in free tactical gambits next season. And we're doing it with this. It's a picture of a current Family Fantasy Football League manager. And I'm going to go rogue here. I'm going to give you 15 Manager of the Season points if you can tell me which current Family Fantasy Football League manager is pictured there. And if you get the manager right, I'll give you a bonus 15 Manager of the Season points if you can tell me what part of the body is pictured there. So a possible 30 Manager of the Season points on offer. If you can tell me that. Which current Family Fantasy Football League manager is pictured there and which part of the body is it? A reminder, the end of season presentation award takes place at Family Fantasy Football League HQ on Saturday the 8th of June. It's not long. At 3 p.m. kickoff. Normal drill. Can you let me know? Me or the boss, Joe, know. If you are attending the end of season presentation awards and if you are bringing along your one permitted guest. Each manager can bring one guest. If you are coming, can you bring whatever you choose to drink? But let us know what you are bringing by way of food so that we can coordinate and make sure that there's a fair selection buffet wise and we don't just end up with 600 sausage rolls and a vol au vent. Really hope we see as many of you as possible. Last season was the poorest attended Family Fantasy Football League in the history of the competition, although it was still a really great day, I have to say. But it would be good to see as many of you as possible on Saturday the 8th of June. That date was notified in the rules issued at the start of the season. There is also a Family Fantasy Football League Facebook event. You can click on there that you are going if you are on the Family Fantasy Football League Facebook group. And that is your penultimate episode. Next week's episode will be the final Banter in the Box of the season. Until then, take care everyone. Bye bye.